Hi and welcome to my second video here on YouTube. Today we are using Canva to record, my first time, so hopefully everything will go all right. This video is about switching from WordPress back to Blogger, or BlogSpot as some people call it, and the reasons why you might want to do that and how you can do it. This is part one of 2 videos. So some of the problems with WordPress that people don't talk about much is there are speed problems. WordPress can be slow. Another thing that always bothered me was the constant updates of not only the themes, but also the plugins. Oftentimes these updates can mess up your web design or the functionality of your website, and then you have to use more time to go back and fix it. Also, there's a lot of technical issues with WordPress that you need to worry about, such as caching, the SEO plugins, and SSL certificates that you've got to kind of work through all the details. And that just takes more time away from what you should be doing, which is writing your blog. Another thing that bothered me about WordPress is the fact that I got on what's called unlimited web hosting. And you'll notice that this is pretty typical. This chart here is pretty typical for a web host. They start you out with a pretty affordable contract. And then each time the contract expires, it gets a little bit higher. When you get to the real full price with all the extras added, it's like $15 a month. So if your website is not making a ton of money, then that might also be an issue as well. All right. Now, I don't want to pretend that BlogSpot is perfect. They also have their own issues. The main one being that you don't actually own the site. Google owns the site and is in control of the site. So you can get banned for content that they don't like or violating their terms of service. So you always have to have a backup available so that you can move your site to a different host if needed. Also, another thing that's bad about BlogSpot is some of their themes are very outdated and don't work well on mobile devices. So why would I go back from WordPress to BlogSpot if I just admitted that BlogSpot has a lot of issues? Well, for me, it was all about cutting costs. I had a few blogs that really weren't making that much money. And so instead of just deleting them, I thought, why not just move those back over to a host that's free? BlogSpot is the one that I feel is the best. The second reason is that it's just easier to focus on writing and promoting the blog instead of worrying about all those technical issues that come with WordPress. Okay, so these are some, if you have a website that is large that's already getting good rankings in Google, you may not want to try this because you could end up messing up your rankings that you have for your site. Also, if your site isn't strictly a blog but has other functionality, you're going to lose that functionality on Blogger or BlogSpot. BlogSpot is not really made for anything other than blogging. So if that's your website, then you probably don't want to go forward with this. Now, if you have a small site that isn't really ranking that well, maybe doesn't have a lot of pages or blog articles yet, and your hosting is about to expire, then you might want to consider switching over while you have the time from WordPress to Blogspot. So, how do you do it? What are the steps to migrate from WordPress to Blogger? There are 3 steps. First, you want to download your WordPress site. Then you need to convert that file into something that's compatible with Blogger. And then you'll go to Blogger and you'll import the converted file back up to Blogger. And this will import all of your articles, but it is noteworthy that it does not import your images, because your images are in a different folder on WordPress than they will be when you're on Blogger. So you would have to re-upload your images. So to export your WordPress blog, you first want to go to your sites. Under Tools, you're going to select Export. Now you're going to export 2 things. You're going to export the content and then your media library. Your content file is the one that you are going to convert so that you can import it to Blogger. The media library will have all your pictures. These will have to be manually reinserted into your site. So you can see if you have a large site, manually reinserting all of the pictures and videos could be a real pain. So you want to think about that before you go through with this procedure. Okay, now you want to go to the link in the description that I'll have below, and there's this converter. You'll want to choose the file, the content file that we just downloaded from WordPress, and you're going to upload it here and convert it. I believe the file that you get from this is an XML file, because Blogger works with the XML language. So once you get that XML file, you're going to be able to import it into Blogger. And to see how you do that, let's go to the next slide. So you just want to go to the settings of the blog you want to use. If you have a new blog that you want to use, you can do that. And don't worry about you can do the custom name and all that kind of stuff after you do this portion. So first, find the blog that you want to use and then go to Settings and scroll down to Manage Blog, and you're going to go here where it says Import Content. And you'll upload that file that we downloaded earlier. Okay, so from there, you'll have all your content into your new Blogspot blog. In part 2, we will talk about redirecting your old blog, setting up a custom domain, and finding a modern theme to use with your Blogspot blog. All right, see you then.